In a world of reboots, remakes, and cinematic disasters, two dudes with no clue dare to ask, what the hell were they thinking? Popcorn ready, brains off, no film school, and no mercy. This is No Clue Movie Reviews.
Hello and welcome back to the No Clue Movie Reviews. I am your host, Jay, and as always, I'm joined by my buddy, the man, the beard, the bastard, Malcolm. How you doing, brother?
Hmm, doing pretty good. This is going to be a weird movie to review for us.
Well, yeah, it is because, today we actually do have a clue.
Uh-huh.
That's
Well,
right. We're reviewing the 1985 classic Clue, which is based off of the board game of the same name, which I believe pre-banter here, you said you've never played?
never played, and before this review, never seen the movie.
Wow, okay, that I thought you'd seen the movie before, but okay, that's kinda shocking, so
Well, not saying I've sat down and watched it. It was always on Comedy Central, and I always wanted to watch like reruns of South Park, and it always pissed me off that it was on. So I just instinctively hated it because it kept me from what I wanted. So I never sat down and watched it. I just decided to hate it.
well, I'll be honest, I've seen this movie probably more times than I can count as a kid, like, it was one of those growing up with my dad loved it, my mom loved it, so when it was on Comedy Central and shit, we watched it, we own it, I have a copy of it, you know, I love the movie, or I did. We will get through the movie and we'll see what we still feel on it. But let's get started with this. It is directed by Jonathan Lynn, and it's got a pretty good cast of characters here. We got Tim Curry, Christopher Lloyd, Madeline Kahn, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Eileen Brennan, and Leslie Ann Warren. I always remember this music in the beginning. I love the music. I mean, the music throughout the whole movie, I think, is great, but the opening intro, the dun 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 dun,
It's just beautiful little matte painting.
just driving up into it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Interesting note, everyone's car is the color of the board game little figurines or whatever, little pawns, whatever you played with.
Yeah, they did a lot of that with them. They made sure that there was something that tied them to their character. For example,
Mhm.
Miss White walks in wearing all black, but when she opens up her coat to take it off, the inside of the coat's solid white. So, yeah, there's all kinds of, like, little, hints towards the board I almost said video game. I got Mario on the brain still, a few episodes back.
Mhm.
Do believe our next one is gonna be just something I know nothing about, Columbo.
Oh, yes, yes. But I have skimmed through that. I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one, but that's the key point here. Wait.
Mhm.
Let's start
Wait.
with this one. Now, the movie starts obviously, you just showed somebody driving up to the mansion. It's Tim Curry who plays Wadsworth in here.
The butler.
As he's walking up, there's these 2 dogs who are right outside, the front. What is it exactly he's doing here? Did he shorten the dog's chains after throwing them?
Yes, he shortens them because I guess they just stop being guard dogs because they have some food, but, yeah, I can let it go because it's silly and it works. Its only setup is for the poop joke that
Oh,
carries on.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I almost ignored it.
Mhm.
But for how long the joke carried on and the fact that everybody smells the shit, and they don't even look at
It's
him, they just they
so subtle, so subtle. Everyone starts checking their shoe.
yeah, nobody looks at him, I think even one person, like, smells their armpits, if I'm right. I don't remember, but I swear
Yes, I do believe that was the maid, or yes.
uh, Yvette or
Yes,
Yvette,
after
whatever her
she
name
does
is.
yeah, she sniffs, I think, her armpit and then even checks her shoe on a wide
Yeah,
shot.
and I don't wanna call her the maid, I almost wanna call her Miss Titties because damn.
Mhm. Sad to say has not held up. Oh, out
Oh,
of all the casts, Colleen Camp, oh, poor thing. I always
I
feel bad when you see one of these actresses, they all gonna age, but when, that happens, it's sad.
well, how did Miss Peacock age? Because I'm actually curious, what did Miss Peacock look like when she wasn't, like, dressed like this? Because I feel like she could be pretty, but she just didn't put it off in this, you know?
I mean, she's always thin. She's still thin to this day. I haven't even checked to see if she's still alive.
Well, if she's not, she's really thin.
I mean, everyone's pushing almost 80. Like she is 79.
Well, I know Tim Curry is not with us anymore. I'm not sure how many of the others are not. I'm Christopher Lloyd, I don't think is ever gonna die.
No, no, because I mean, for all I know, he's only 60, but I know he's not. But I mean, he always has looked old.
Well, I mean, everybody's first thought of Christopher Lloyd is, Back to the Future.
But it
How
wouldn't
old?
been when you went to the theater because it's the same year, right?
Oh, within a
85?
year or 2, yeah. It's
Right.
right around the same time. Not positive, though. After Tim Curry shows up, and then you get the dog shit, he steps in. Oh, yeah, I didn't even catch that this was, set in 1954 until this playthrough.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, here I am going board game again. This watch through. And, yeah, I've never caught that before, but, let's just jump the order that they come in.
Mhm.
Tim Curry or Wadsworth shows up, does the stepping and shit, and as he's walking through, you run across Miss Titties. He goes and sees the cook, and then Colonel Mustard is actually the first guest to show up,
Right.
and you find out that right here is when he tells you find out that they actually have code names instead of their real names.
Right.
Uh,
Is the code names the name of the characters on the board?
Absolutely. Colonel
Okay.
Mustard, yellow, Miss White, white, Scarlet, red, plum, purple, so on and so on. Peacock,
I
blue,
see.
green is green.
That's a
Uh,
nice touch instead of just having them be those names as though it's like they're unwillingly playing the game Clue.
well, and all the weapons that are brought up later are
Mhm.
the weapons from the game as
I
well.
I picked up on that, which made me like, if like breaking that it's a movie about a game. It's like, what weird gifts.
Well, the only thing
Even
that
in the
they
context that what they're
the
for, it's like, that's a weird choice.
yeah, because you give one guy a gun and everybody else, "Oh, here's a
Eh,
candlestick, here's a
just
wrench."
just have 6 guns.
Yeah. I mean, if you want somebody dead, just yeah, 6 guns, easy, done. The rooms, for example, like, they go to every room that's in the game as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
except they added a few.
Right.
There is no upstairs, there is no basement,
I could see that.
no attic, there's no master bedroom like they all like, is referred to later, so,
Mhm. But, I
funny
mean,
note.
that makes sense because the map painting shows, like, 3 stories, so you can't ignore it. Can't be like the Beverly Hillbillies where they
Well,
just never go upstairs.
so funny thing about that, me and my brother, when I was a little younger, we made it a 2nd floor to the Clue game.
Okay.
And added extra weapons too, just to play a little bit more. But the extra weapons we added were from, like, my Ninja Turtles, so I had, like, a katana, and I had, like, a giant club and shit like that. Problem was we had to remake all the cards to go with it, so
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it was pretty fun. I think we played one time, and I don't remember what the hell happened to it all. Colonel Mustard shows up first, followed by Mrs. White, and then you get a quick glimpse of Professor Plum picking up Miss Scarlet on the side of the road.
Right.
I have a problem with this scene, and, if Kaylee is listening, she would laugh her ass off at me. Miss Scarlet leaves her car on the side of the road, headlights on, hood
Uh-huh.
open, middle of a storm,
Yes.
doesn't bother turning it off.
Yeah,
Why?
I did notice that, and I found it odd, but then I quickly forgot about it.
If you're leaving
I'm
your
more or
car,
less
you're
curious of how the motors got his vehicle so hide-centered way later in the movie. It's like, what happened?
we'll get to the motorist. I got more questions about him than they gave answers to. But
Mhm.
yeah, after that, you get Peacock shows up and followed by Green, and finally Plum and Scarlet are the last of what we assume are the last of the guests because we know of these 6, characters.
Yes.
So they all get sat in the dining room, and they all have their own table or their own seats at the table. And it's actually kind of funny. Before they go to the dining room, you get a very jumpy Mr. Green, which just carries on throughout the movie. Almost said episode again, but throughout the movie, you get a very very jumpy Mr. Green.
Sorry.
So you have that. You have another scene later. I'm pretty sure he throws he throws soup on somebody at
Yes,
the
it's
table, and
soup.
And then, the he's screaming at the end, with the chandelier, "If something happens one more time, I'm gonna lose it," and
Mhm.
the fucking chandelier falls behind him. He has a rough night, we'll just say that much. They get to the table, and I wanted to slap somebody with the sipping sounds, man. Like,
It was great because it was intentionally it was just it was designed to irritate and make everyone tense in a
I
silly
know.
movie trying to build like tension, and it's really just like we're gonna do it, but it's gonna be in a form of irritation.
Well, what was more irritating though? The sipping sound or Miss Peacock trying to explain her backstory of how she hosts dinner parties and shit, because she said she's good at conversation, but she just mumbled and stumbled along, kinda
Hmm
like I'm
hmm
doing in this opening here.
Yes, but it's great because then Christopher Lloyd's character just starts pointing it out and just psychoanalyzing her.
Oh, yeah. Now, I love Christopher Lloyd in this movie to an extent, other than the fact that you find out what he did to you know, be here. I'm not like people have seen this movie. It came out in '85,
Hmm
we know what people have seen it. But Peacock gives away she's married to a politician. Mr. Green reveals he works in Washington. Yeah, and like I said, Mr. Green, he threw soup on Scarlet this time. That's what happened.
Yes.
I literally put here, I really wish Miss Peacock would just shut the fuck up. But her nonstop talking leads to find out that Plum works for the World Health Organization. Colonel
hmm
Mustard works in Washington, D.C., and you pretty much find out everybody has some ties to Washington, D.C. one way or another. And then you get the last guest to show up, one that we did not know was going to be here. Did you
Right.
catch the talking in the background while he came in?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a second time through. It was like, oh, it's definitely, even though it did feel like he was already starting to fight with Wadsworth. That was
Yes,
kind of
Wadsworth.
odd, but then they're kind of cool when they enter the room. But there was a bit of a scuffle,
Yeah, it's
kind
kinda
of.
weird. In the background, you hear him talking about, "Is that the evidence? Is it," and you're like, "Evidence? What? What's going on?" And
Right.
they are fighting, but when they enter in, he sees the people, and he literally goes, "What are they doing here?"
hmm Oh yeah, I guess that is weird. It was the second time through that I was like, I'm such an idiot. Then when I figured out his name, Mister Body, he's
Yeah,
going to be the dead body. It's like, oh, come on,
yeah,
why didn't I catch
that's
that
the
the
thing.
first time? And
That's
then
literally the
who
thing in
is
the
this
game.
guy? This actor. I've never seen him before.
I I have no idea. He's kind of funny in this, like, the fight scene with him and,
Hmm
was it was it Mr. Green that he beat up?
The
Poking him in the eye and then punching him?
boy, I think a little bit. He goes on the ground with Mr. Colonel Mustard.
Is
He
it
goes
Mustard?
to, yeah.
He's surprised all the guests are there, and then, it's revealed that everybody has received a letter to show up at the mansion, but nobody knows why. So,
Mhm.
after the dinner is over, I mean, if
Yeah,
the
which
dinner was very short,
yeah, it's very short. I would be a little stressed out if I thought there was gonna be food and that was how quick it was.
especially
Well,
since it was a little soup, that was it.
a little soup and then the main that was just the appetizer and the main course being well, it's revealed later what it is.
I mean, they had to have, like, skipped quite a bit of the dinner because, like I said, that was a very short dinner scene for what this was supposed to be a dinner party, right?
Like,
Yeah.
maybe everyone was full on cognac. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. After dinner, Wadsworth, they all go to the study, I believe, and
Yeah.
Wadsworth has a package that is left for him that says, "Do not open until after dinner," and it reveals why they're all there.
Mhm.
Mr. Body decides he's gonna try to run away before it's all revealed,
Yeah.
and basically, he reveals that the house is locked, nobody can get out. He literally says the house is locked and nobody can get out until the police arrive or whatever.
Yeah, which I think give or take a minute, it is exactly 45 minutes from when he says.
Is it really? I did not even time
I
that
mean,
one down.
I didn't measure it perfectly, but it was lining up. I'm sure right here on the screen, I'll tell you exactly when they showed up. Yep, that's right.
Well, so everybody's freaking out because the house is locked up, and Wadsworth is like, "Calm down, everybody go back, and I will tell you what's going on." Wadsworth reveals every one of the guests is being blackmailed, and
Mhm.
to break it down, Plum did inappropriate things to his patients, which, like I said, I like Plum except for that.
I
Miss
mean, yeah, okay. But it's always a trope in movies. The
Yeah,
therapist is usually always banging someone.
yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Scarlet runs an escort service. Mustard uses an escort service while holding a prestigious position in Washington.
Mhm.
White is accused of killing her husband. her first husband disappeared. You find out later she actually has been married 5 times.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened to the other 3
I
husbands.
love the description of I'm assuming it's the latest husband.
He was found dead at home. His head had been cut off, and so had his.
You know.
I had been out all evening at the movies.
I love and I love it instantly. It's like I have an alibi.
Madeline Kahn is so good in this movie, or as Mike from The Grey's Tavern called her, Madeline Albright. 'Cause
Oh, okay.
they reviewed this a while back, and yeah, he called her Madeline Albright. Which, yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that one. Anyways, Green, he works for the State Department while being, and here's another 80s thing, while
Uh-huh.
being, well, I guess this was the 50s technically, but while
Yeah.
being a homosexual. So he must keep it a secret or he'll lose his job.
Right.
I got to jump back though. Miss Peacock took bribes for her husband's campaign. Now, is it implied here that she was blowing people in bathrooms? Because he made a comment about how she's taking them under the bathroom stall.
I think it's just referring to like money being handed.
No,
Like
I
that.
got that, but like the way they're talking about it, it almost sounded like she was doing other inappropriate things for her husband, and that's why she didn't want her husband finding out about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, just I could be wrong. Anybody out there listening want to agree or disagree? Please go ahead
Tell
and.
us about political scandals, please.
But
I don't think I get enough of that from the day to day.
I get enough on Twitter, but yeah, like let's give us political scandals on our timeline now. That'll be fun. But they all find out Mr. Body is the one blackmailing them. And this is right here, he claims the police are on the way, or Wadsworth claims the police are on the way. Now, I do have a problem here.
Yeah.
Did he not ask them, why are they all here, right? How did he know to bring 6 presents, one for each of the people, if he did not know they were there?
Yeah, I guess it's the good thing that I just kept forgetting about Mr. Body. And it was just kind of let's push this story just so we can have the reveal of the gifts. I mean, after a while, it's like, are we fixing the house?
Well, yeah, not ever playing the board game for you that might throw you
I
off
mean,
a bit
I
there.
get it because I've heard enough cultural reference, like, oh, in the kitchen with the lead pipe. I've heard all the reference many times throughout culture.
Well, so Body gives them all these weapons, and he basically tells them the only way for everyone to avoid humiliation because when the police get there, everything's going to be revealed. They're going to get in trouble. He might go to jail too, but everything will be revealed.
Yeah.
He shuts off the light. Somebody attacks Mr. Body. A gunshot went off, but he was not shot.
Yeah.
Plum suggests he might have been poisoned from the wine, which just actually leads to like one of my favorite scenes: Peacock screaming and getting the shit slapped out of her.
Oh yeah.
He had to have really hit her. Like redo that and watch her face and his hand. There was no way.
Oh yeah.
Like that was definitely on the chin, at least.
Yeah, at least like a limp wrist, graze on the chin, so it's not a complete impact. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of physical humor that they had to endure.
So if he wasn't revealed earlier to be, and quoted, a homosexual, would the guys have been okay with him slapping her?
In the 50s, that's how you turned women off.
Or on? No, that's now. That's now. Never mind.
Yeah, that's how you get now. But back then, they get yippy, you slap them. It's like, well, she's in her off mode now.
Well, I mean, that was pretty much anything. Yippee, you slap them. They're talking back, you slap them. Not cooking, you slap them. That was the 50s. 50s were a
And
wild
if the
time.
slapping didn't work, then you put them in the crazy house and they shove a spike in their brain.
And then they slap them.
Good times.
Now you get another screaming coming from the billiards room, another room from the game, and you find Yvette in there, and she was literally screaming because what was her excuse for screaming? Because she also had the cognac?
Well, yes, because it is also found out that she is in there recording the conversation as Wadsworth lets them know, because then we get a shot. So she's able to hear the conversation, so she heard the suggestion of poisoning and got upset. At least up to that point, that was her reason.
Yeah, so you get her joining the main cast at this point, but she's still just a side character, kind of like how I feel Mr. Body was. I understand he's like a very important part of this movie, but he's kind of a
Well,
point.
now he is. He wasn't before. He was just a reason, a vessel to get the items into the game. And now he's important being the body.
Yeah. They're wanting to know why they're there. You find out it was actually Wadsworth who was the one that invited them, right?
Mhm.
He claims he's a victim too and says that his wife killed herself because of being blackmailed by Mr. Body.
Yeah, for being a socialist. Because remember, this is all the Red
Mhm.
Scare
Yeah.
back in the 50s when everyone was just witch hunt, accusing everyone of being communists.
Oh man, when he said socialist, I think that got more disgusted looks than Professor Plum molesting you his patients, man.
Yeah, that was just like, that's not professional, but I understand.
But yeah, he wanted to turn Mr. Body over to the police, and so that's why he invited everybody. He wanted to end it. I don't know why he needed to ruin, or like why he needed them all there to do it. He could have had the evidence, which he did. Mr. Body brought the evidence. He had it. Okay.
Mhm.
Now they realize that the cook is still in the house, and they all run to the kitchen to see if the cook is the
Maybe the
killer.
cook did it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and they can't find her at first.
Mhm.
So you get the cook, or somebody opened the
The
freezer,
fridge
or
just kinda
it's
opens
open.
on it is the freezer. Yeah, it's like a walk-in freezer because the
Yeah,
meat's hanging in there.
and it
It's
just
a
opens.
great look. I mean, you see that in, like, 50s horror movies where bodies would just kind of fall out, it's so conveniently, but it just allows for the humor. I like how the '80s, being filmed in the '80s, that's
Somebody
fat.
help me, please. Somebody
Yeah.
help me, please.
Oh, comical fat in the
Uh-huh.
back then was just great. Like, if you look at, uh oh, man, I forget the movie I was watching the other day, but, like, the guy that was supposed to be comically fat is, like,
Mhm.
maybe 210, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and it's
Um,
like, now that's a Victoria's Secret model.
but so you mentioned the fridge, right?
Mhm.
Those fridges, and I know this because my aunt, up until, like, 1996, had a fucking 1950s fridge in her kitchen. Those
Yeah.
cannot open from the inside. That has go back and look at that scene. There is
Yes,
no way to open
yeah,
that.
matter of fact, they were, yeah,
See,
they were famous for kids hiding in them when they were on the corners of the street being thrown away and suffocating. But this is we'll say this is a built-in one
alright.
because it is a built-in one.
I, obviously, the cook had the knife in her back. I know we have people listening and not watching. So the cook is
Right.
dead, has a knife in her back. They carry the cook back to the study because they want to gather all the bodies up at this point.
Mhm. But why? Oh,
Yes, we take the cook's body into the study. Why? I'm the butler. I like to keep the kitchen tidy.
but then now the study's getting dirty. So,
Well,
I mean,
if you put all clutter in one room, that's only one room you got to clean later instead of six.
I don't know. I would stack my bodies on the tile or in the fridge so they wouldn't spoil.
Put her back in the freezer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever put her in there in the first place did the right thing.
Yeah.
But dude, this might be one of my favorite parts. They carry the cook into there, and I believe Mr. Body is all of a sudden gone. The body's missing. So
Yes.
they're all freaked out and they drop the cook right on her face. I
Yeah.
really hope that was a stunt double because that was just that it didn't look like a doll. That looked like they dropped a person on her fucking
Mhm.
face. It was great.
Yeah. And this is also when we start getting the overarching gag of everyone doing the Three Stooges can't get through the door at the
Oh yeah.
same time. There's so much of that going on.
They do that constantly, and it's always I mean, it happens a little bit later when you see I think it's Yvette and Mr. Green are trying to, like, go upstairs together, like, one's like,
Yeah.
"After you, no, after you," so they both go and they get stuck on the stairs. I'm like, "Just" I
Well,
don't
that's because one's a ninny and the other one's a woman, and they're just terrified. So that's kinda funny, and then the other times is because no one's trusting each other, so no one wants to be behind someone else or in front of someone else, so they're just constantly staying right by where they can keep an eye on each other.
I do love this that Miss Peacock 2 dead bodies,
Mhm.
Okay, I'm sorry. One dead body and a missing dead body, and
Right.
Miss Peacock decides she needs to go to the restroom.
That
Would you not be scared knowing that a cook was just murdered, Mr.
Mhm.
Body's dead body is gone all of a sudden?
Yeah.
What your instinct is to leave by yourself?
Well, I mean, she did have to
Is there
powder
no
her
answer,
nose.
Mama?
Oui, oui, madame.
No, I just want to powder my
I
I
nose.
love
do
that.
like
"Oui, oui, madame."
no, I just gotta powder my nose. But, you get her screaming again, and honestly, her screaming is the second best. I love Madeline Kahn at the end.
Mhm. Oh,
Like, I don't "Ah."
yes. Yes. I do just rewind and watch that a few times.
It's the best part in the whole fucking movie, man. But,
Uh-huh.
she starts screaming, and you think that she's being attacked.
Right.
So, they run out, and it's a very badly acting dead body or I'm sorry, dead Mr. Body. So,
Yeah.
you get him, he's got, like, this zombie walk going. I don't know where the hell where did he come out of? The bathroom? Was that it?
Yes, he was, like, propped up on the door of the bathroom because that's how the killer rolls. Which is interesting fact. Everything's a set except the bathroom. That's the only one that's done on location at a house wherever.
Okay.
I don't
Did
know why. Maybe the bathroom was thought of later and it was too late.
did the bathroom door not open inwards, though?
It did open. Yeah, well, boy, yeah, I guess. Yeah, how we never do. Do we see how she discovers it,
No.
or it's just
He comes
it's
out of the
already
bathroom.
just leaning? So I guess it's just implied. But yes, the door does swing open.
So, it's,
I mean, it
like
swings
it
in.
swings
It
yeah,
swings
it
in.
swings in, so his body couldn't have been leaning on it, it wasn't the cook again,
Right.
and his hands are straight out. It's almost like he's doing a zombie walk and grabbed her, and then they
Yeah.
come to find out he's actually dead
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. And I guess also it's because that way they can go, oh, he's attacking her.
Yeah. I mean, I get the joke, I understand, but that right there, that was the one thing, that was one of many things that I could not make heads or tails of. The door swings inwards. You can't make him just fucking fall out. Whatever. Moving on. Everybody's freaking out. Wadsworth is shouting. And while he's doing that, the candlestick falls from somewhere. I believe it was above a door.
Yeah. I was staring at the whole time. I was like, wait, is that the candlestick? Is that a candlestick? Why is
It,
that candlestick there?
I'm shouting! I'm shouting! I'm shouting!
And
yeah.
then the movie answers it for me. For that.
Yep.
It doesn't have to have a purpose. It's just silly physical humor. I'm shouting.
So at this point, Wadsworth decides that, they're going to lock the weapons up in a cupboard
Mhm.
and throw away the key.
At first, he was just going to hold on to the key because he knows he didn't kill anyone. But then they're all like, no.
Absolutely. But here comes another problem with the movie. Did he
Mm.
not tell them earlier that the door was locked and would not open until the police arrived?
Yeah, but he has the key because,
I know he has the key, but he
right.
implied
But
earlier
he's
that
breaking
there
his
was
own rules.
yeah, but he
Yeah.
implied earlier that there was no way to unlock the door.
Hmm.
And he runs out there, unlocks the door, goes to throw the key, but then we have a random guy who's needing to
Right.
use the phone, which we find out later was invited. So why
Wait, why? That's I understand who he knew. Wait, I don't remember anyone implying that he was
no,
invited.
at the end of the show, it is everybody who was here, even the singing telegram had some tie to them.
Uh,
The cop had a tie to them. Him,
yes,
cop,
yes.
everybody
Well,
had
well, I remember him saying, and the strangest thing is, my old boss, and then he gets killed. So I
yes.
just didn't know if it was just like super convenient that
Nope.
he is passing. So wow.
They literally he literally is telling him, Mr. Wadsworth at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the movie is literally telling them that this person was invited, and this person, they all are tied. They are all part of it. But this guy clearly has no idea what's going on. The
Mm-hmm.
cop, only reason he came up is because he found the guy's car.
Yeah, and but then see that's another deal. It's like, was he? Oh boy, did we reveal that? Okay, so he's kind of in on it, the cop, but then it definitely still shows him finding the car. So is that just a coinkydinks that he is connected to someone, but he finds the car on his patrol? That I don't know either.
Exactly. There's some really dumb stuff here. Either way, though.
But It's a silly movie that I've been smiling the whole time I've been watching it to this point, so I did not care, and I
Well,
definitely didn't question anything. I
give
just
it a
went,
rewatch
"Yes,
and
and."
get
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
I've watched it 2 and if you add the editing of these clips, 2.5 times.
Yep. Like I said, it's a very good 80s movie.
Mhm.
But like I said, it's got its problems, and this is what we do. We break down stuff, we look at the
Yeah.
stuff that we find problematic, and,
And
I'm
I
gonna call it
feel
out.
like I say it's hanging on because it's depicted in the 50s, and if you imagine those 50s suspense movies, it has about that same kinda logic. So, I'm gonna chalk it up to that. It's like there's just so much convenient stuff always just happening in those movies. So, I'll give it that. It doesn't affect my thoughts of the movie, I'll say.
Oh, no. I mean, we'll get there, but
Mhm.
I at this point, though, everybody thought they were stuck there.
Yeah.
Nobody could leave. That was the thing. Nobody could leave. Yet, at this point, the door was open.
And some of 'em
Why
were
not run
out,
out?
and they willingly walked in.
Mhm. Why not just run out? You didn't do the killing, run away. Just saying. This may have been the most frustrating part to me. If you have the long, stupid argument, please play it because I don't wanna describe "Is there anyone in the house, or is there not?" That one?
Okay.
Oh my
Wow,
god.
you didn't like that one? That took me back to the who's on second bit, and that's I enjoyed that then. I understand it's so old and does not fit in 2026, but I was enjoying it because there's so many times. It reminds me of talking to my wife. I usually have to ask the same kinda question 4 different ways to get the truth.
But
So,
I think
that's what I
that
was smiling about.
I'm positive that that guy was the only one that did not know if he
Yes.
was not understanding.
Yes.
Everybody else was like, "Dude, shut the fuck up."
To the point that Mrs. White couldn't take it no more.
Please! Don't you think we should get that man out of the house before he finds out what's been going on here?
The her natural choice of when to uptick her voice. It's just
I
you
wanna
can't
know
learn
how
that.
Yeah, I wanna know how much of her stuff was, like, just, done right then and there, like, she just
Uh,
decided that was what was going on.
well, something way back something towards the end of the movie, 100% ad lib.
Yeah,
No one
has to
predicted
be.
she was gonna do.
Well, the, uh, the argument ended with, was it Mr. Green? Somebody decided that they were gonna split up in pairs to see if anybody was else.
That was Colonel Mustard.
Okay,
He's like, "We're gonna do it military action. We're gonna
that's
split up."
right, because that
Mhm,
becomes an integral part at the end of the movie, so he decides they wanna split up,
mhm.
and they draw matches to see who goes with who.
Yeah.
I have it white goes with Wadsworth, greens with Yvette, plums with Peacock, and wait a minute, Scarlet is with I messed up on that one.
Scarlet is I
Plum,
think
Peacock.
Scarlet's with Mustard
Yeah,
'cause
okay, yeah.
she hates him the most
Yeah, I accidentally put
for
green down
some
twice.
reason. Even though it's,
Oh,
Professor Plum that squeezes her butt in the beginning out of
well,
nowhere just
it's
to prove that
revealed
he's a
early
cornball.
on. Remember, Mustard is one of her clients,
Yes.
and which actually that's part of his blackmail is
Mhm.
there's photos of him with one of her girls. But
Which is Yvette, which is
yeah,
one of her girls. That's also something we discovered. Yvette is multitasker. She got day and night jobs.
yeah, like I said, everybody in the house,
Mhm.
one way or another, is involved. But while everyone's looking around the house, somehow someone split away from their partner. Oh, let's reverse back.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, "Well, if we split up into twos, what if I get stuck with the killer?" And everybody's like, "Well, then we will know who the killer is because you'll be dead."
Mhm. I mean,
I I loved it. It makes
logically, it
sense.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. You get somebody burns all the evidence that Wadsworth had, and then
Mhm.
someone opens up the weapon cupboard. They
Yeah.
take the wrench out and they find a shortcut into the lounge where the motorist is at. And this is your conversation you were talking about. When he's like, oddly enough, my old boss is here.
Yeah.
And then,
We just don't get to hear who's the old boss at that point.
yep, and all of a sudden, right in the back of his head, one
Which
smack, he's dead.
another fun fact, each passageway is exactly the way it is on the board.
Yep, that goes right to the room that it would be on the board. Like the conservatory goes to
Mhm.
the lounge, I believe, and the study goes to the kitchen.
And I don't know that because 'cause I'm smart or play the game, it's because I looked up facts before we hit record. So, damn it.
Well, Mustard finds the secret passage on accident after all this happened, and they come out into the lounge where they find the stranger dead.
Yeah.
And they can't get the
Wait.
passage back open.
Yeah, they can't. Okay, this is getting good. This is getting to a really good part.
So they can't get the passage back open, and so they're freaking out and screaming, and you go, "Let me out, let me out." And all these people are like, "Let me in, let me in."
Yvette. This is
out of
just
nowhere, she's got an idea. She runs into the weapon locker, cupboard, whatever you want to call it, where the weapons are at.
We'll call it the Hurt Locker.
There we go. And she goes to the Hurt Locker and grabs the gun. She comes out and just starts blasting.
Oh, it was great.
You're shooting at us!
But she doesn't care. She trips.
I love her stance, but she's wearing high heels.
I've been shot.
I've been shot.
Come out. The deli's open.
Just everything. The fact that she's in the maid outfit, everything, her accent, that was just beautiful. Interesting thing. Did you notice that when Colonel Mustard first walked in, he did look up at the chandelier just for a second, like, I'll get to you later?
No, I did not catch
Yeah.
that.
It's like right after he checks his shoes for poo. Then he walks down those first 2 steps, looks up the chandelier. There's a half, like, millisecond shot. It just establishes that, then boom.
So, going back to Yvette shooting that gun, right? You mentioned the maid outfit. I'm gonna say that was somebody who was doing this film. That had to be multiple like turn-ons for him. Maid, French, guns. You're ticking some boxes there, man. Just saying.
Makes me think of that song, Bikini Girls with Machine Guns.
Dude, I'm telling you, our buddy Matt Mish, I think he would be in love with this girl. He is a big gun guy, and I got a feeling. I know he likes them titties.
Well, them titties are 72 years old, and
Not in this movie, they weren't.
Yeah, I guess you can always hit rewind.
Well, she had hella good aim, though, dude. She shot the lock from halfway around the room, and no problem. Come out, the door's open.
How'd you know? How'd you know you just didn't make it worse? But then again, movie logic. If you shoot a lock, it unlocks.
Well, movie logic. You shoot a gas tank, the car explodes. Doesn't happen in real life.
Doesn't? No.
Not
it wouldn't be a very good movie. I mean, I have.
I've done other things, but I've never shot the gas tank. This is where we get our next person who is somehow involved, but doesn't seem to know why he's at this place other than the fact that he found the stranger's car abandoned. And like you alluded to earlier, how did the stranger get his car stuck on top of that little hill?
I don't know. It would have been great if he tried dodging the Peacock's, no, Miss Scarlet's car that was abandoned with the lights on.
Oh, that'd be
and
great.
Hood up. And that would have been great of connecting it that way. It's a series of bad decisions that lead to this.
Like Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. But the cop shows up and he's asking them like if they saw a motorist, because his car is stuck on a hill at the end of the driveway.
Yeah, and Mr. Green says, I'm going to tell him the truth, and everyone else is lying, and it just makes it worse.
Well, what makes it even worse than that is they lock the fucking police officer in the library. So we get another reference to the game. They take that one there.
Yeah.
While he's in there, a phone call comes in, and the cop answers it, and apparently it's fucking J. Edgar Hoover on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, that is so fucking random. But the cop is banging on the door, telling him to let him out, and he's going to charge him with obstruction and kidnapping and murder.
What do you mean? Murder. I just said it so you would open the door. What's going on around here?
At this point, Mr. Green decides to show the cop around while everybody else is setting up dead bodies to look like they're just part of the party. I mean, they do this well, but for how much trouble they had carrying the fucking cook around, those two are keeping her standing up just fine between them in this scene.
Yeah, I guess. I guess at the foot of there's a cop in the house. This is it. You're gonna muster up some energy, but it was worth it for that shot. It was just great. I call this one a weekend at Clue.
Madeline Kahn's going all out there
Oh,
on the dead body.
yeah. Hell yeah. She's getting into it.
This right here,
Uh-huh.
that's a dead body, and that thing was comically fat at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Peacock's face.
She's got the knife on her side. That's got to feel
Yeah.
weird.
And then you jump into the other room, and
Mhm.
you got Plum and Scarlet are making out on on the other love seat sofa, whatever, while they got the stranger at this time. They call him a stranger or motorist, whatever you want to
Mhm.
fucking call the guy.
I think they did the smarter thing.
Yeah, like they hooked up and they dumped alcohol all over this guy
Yeah.
and
Put
covered
some down
his
his mouth. Yeah.
and they covered his wrench wound with a hat.
Mhm.
Here's the thing, they're asking about this guy's not gonna drive, right? Like, no, his fucking car's out there, dude. Don't worry about it. Like
It's like,
they
"No,
could have
you
said it
saw."
at that point. No, you saw his car.
But then they would admit that they said no, that they've seen a motorist, so they couldn't reveal that that was his car. So that kind of checks out. He just has to be one of the party goers.
Yeah. Okay. I accept that. But the cop goes back to the library. Well, they
Mhm.
exit and what Wadsworth comes walking back in and freaks the fuck out because he sees the cop
Oh, yeah.
walking out of the library or the
It's like,
whatever
"Don't worry,
room.
this is America." It's like, "Yeah, but."
I didn't know it was that free. You know, like but he goes ahead and they lock the cop back
Well,
in
yeah,
the library.
because the cop never got to make his phone call because it rang. He had to deal with Hoover. Even
I
though it does, when he does say that it's Hoover, Wadsworth does go and deal with that phone call, and there's not much talk of it for a while after that. And then after he decides that, oh, everyone's just having a good time, he says, now can I make that phone call? He goes in there and he gets locked again.
well, once again, we'll revisit the J. Edgar Hoover thing, but
Mhm.
Wadsworth taking that call by the end makes 0 sense. The cop is locked in the library, and this right here, again, doesn't make any sense. The cop has no suspicion anymore. He looked around the house, it's all good.
Yeah.
But then they lock him in again, and now
Yeah,
he's back to suspicious.
but then they question, it's like, why are you doing it? And I think, for lack of, I don't have the actual clip. I think it's out of habit.
Well, no, it was because they had to continue searching the house. They weren't
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's what it was. It was
Back
just
to
a
what
way to
we're doing.
yeah. So you get while they're back searching again, Scarlet and Mustard find another passage. That's the one from the kitchen to the study.
Mhm.
You know, and then during all this, someone cuts the power, which is amazing that they knew exactly where to go and one big power breaker to cut off.
I think in
It's
the 50s, that's what it was. There wasn't really breakers. And even then, if it was the 50s, that house is like turn of the century
yeah.
old. So it's retrofitted with 1910 electricity.
Well, I get that, but it looked like somebody was getting fucking electrocuted. Like somebody like, all right, do it. You know that.
You kind of almost would.
But while the lights are out, the power's cut. You
Mhm.
see Yvette gets strangled by a rope after saying someone recognized her and then goes, "It's you." And then
It's
boom,
you.
you get the rope around her neck. So the rope is used at that point.
Mhm.
The doorbell
Is
rings.
at this point, is Mish still turned on?
Dude, I mean, that may be even more. But the doorbell rings and you get the singing telegram, the I am the singing telegram, and then bam,
Yeah.
shot. And then they discover, I missed one thing. The cop
The
being
cop.
locked up, somebody goes through a passage behind him and smacks him with
Mhm.
a lead pipe. So
Yes.
every weapon, I believe, at this point has been used. Candlestick was used on Mr. Body.
Yep.
Gun shot the singing telegram. Rope strangled Yvette. Lead pipe hit the motorist. What am I missing? What am I missing?
That means the lead pipe was used twice?
No, the wrench. The wrench killed the motorist. That's right. Wrench
Yeah,
killed the
wrench,
motorist. Lead pipe,
motorist, pipe,
cop.
yeah.
Yep. So I think I'm missing one weapon. Oh, knife in the cook's back.
Mhm.
So all weapons have been used. All rooms have been visited. And we are back to the lights coming on. Now they discover the bodies and nobody seems shocked. It's just, oh, another dead body.
Well, I guess after a while you get used to it because it's kind of comically. They're just kind of like they'll walk by a doorway, see a body, and just kind of nod, like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm not surprised that happened.
I think it's just more or less they're happy it's not them at this point.
Yeah,
But yeah, they discover the bodies. They don't seem shocked. My favorite part is they just leave the singing telegram chick on the front porch.
yeah. I think did they move Yvette or is she just hanging out on the pool
I don't think
table?
they moved Yvette, but they left the singing telegram chick
Yeah.
on the porch.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes.
else comes to the door later and doesn't question the dead body on the porch.
Oh yeah.
They don't
Now,
bring her
yes,
in.
with further story, but then I have a problem with that even storyline if I want to get logical with it. But there
They
is
just
this like quick little scene. I love Tim Curry's accent. It is just
But one of us wasn't here. No.
nair.
No.
That they even make fun of it. Nair.
Well, this is when he starts to explain everything, and I get it. Like yeah, and you're right. Yvette was still on the table.
Mhm.
He's more just happy to explain what's going on, but you get him going through the whole night again, and you get Miss Peacock getting slapped again, which is
That
still
is
fucking
great.
hilarious. And they he basically says, Mr. Body used the cook and Yvette for information. That's why
Mhm.
they were killed. Wadsworth claims that the motorist was invited, and right here in his first part of the story,
Okay.
but the motorist didn't seem to believe he was supposed to be there.
Right.
Apparently, the cop used to work for Scarlet at one point.
Yeah, or she was just on the payroll so that way she could get away with
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, he was on her payroll. And the singing telegram chick was one of Plum's patients.
Or victims.
Now, okay, I guess they do bring her in. I have a note here. I don't really recall it happening, but I guess they throw her body in the study. They just throw her in. Okay, so
That's
my bad.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. It was just a quick thing. But while telling what happens, the doorbell rings again, and it's somebody preaching the name of Jesus to him.
Yes.
Trying, yeah.
Who is this guy? Because I looked at his face like I know him
I
from
thought it was
somewhere.
George Carlin when I first saw him. I am not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I'm glad it wasn't because I don't need any bigger names than the cast here because, that'd been too much. But I mean, I have not been able to put a name to that face yet because everyone's so much older in the cast. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, when I first saw him, I was thinking George Carlin, but I was like, no, I don't think George Carlin wasn't, white haired this early. That was '90s when he got white haired on us. So, but yeah, he goes on to continue after they get rid of the guy preaching to him. He goes on to claim that Yvette killed the cook and Mr. Body. He says Scarlet killed Yvette, the motorist, the cop, and the singing telegram chick. And everybody's like, she's like, well, prove it. And he's like, well, everybody turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty out your purse. Whoever has the
Yeah.
gun is the killer. And of course, Scarlet pulls out the gun and basically tells everyone they will continue to get blackmailed and pay her with secrets because they're all broke now. And then that's when the cops show up.
Well,
Finally.
I like at the point where she gets called a communist while
Communism is just
explaining.
a red herring.
Yeah.
You're a communist.
No, Mr. Green. Communism is just a red herring. Like all members of the oldest profession, I'm a capitalist.
I do.
And I
do.
like how that line keeps getting used by other people.
Yeah, in every one of these. Now, this the part, like I said, the cops show up right here to arrest Scarlet,
Yeah.
and that's the end. Maybe. Because that's how it could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Then we jump back to Wadsworth running around, and he's telling the story all over again. But at this point, he's now accusing Peacock.
Yes.
He says, the cook used to be her cook. Her favorite food is monkey brains, which is what they ate for dinner. And, a couple people seem a little grossed out by it.
Yeah, Professor Plum's like, that's what we ate as he walks by the screen.
But again, same thing. Men, empty out your pockets. Ladies, empty out your purse.
Mm-hmm.
Peacock pulls the gun. Wadsworth says the police aren't coming because nobody ever called them. I mean, I guess it is what it is. He's been claiming the whole time, but nobody ever called him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Peacock decides she's going to leave the house, first before anybody else.
For she's a
What?
jolly good fellow.
What was yeah, that cracked me up. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but yeah, everybody starts singing "She's
It's
a Jolly Good Fellow," and
'cause it's just more of the absurd.
it
And I
is.
like how some of them are singing, like, really good in there. There's a bit of, like, an octave going on. Like, they've been there the day before to practice. They rehearsed.
How many of them like, do you think they were all singing, or do you think there was anybody who wasn't singing and they
Um,
added a voice in?
nah, I bet you back then, pretty much most men can kinda do some sort of, like, male singing, y but the women, I think for the most part, every time I clicked on them, they had singing backgrounds because back then you had to be a multi-talented person to make it in Hollywood.
Well, I know Tim Curry can sing because,
Mhm.
fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show,
Well,
which
Miss Scarlet, in real life, she is an actress and singer, so she has some, talent, and, Khan, well, she's a comedian, but she can do crazy things with her voices,
oh, dude,
so
she's amazing, but I love Tim Curry, he's the best part, but man, she
Mhm.
definitely was a good secondary character here. I loved her in this movie. I don't really know her from a lot of movies, I'm sad to say that.
Young Frankenstein, she turns into the bride. That's her.
Ooh,
And, Blazing Saddles, she's like the prostitute singing, the cabaret dancer who gets involved into the storyline.
we need to review Blazing Saddles.
Sure, that will be fun to edit.
Hey, Police Academy had a few things that we were a
Yeah,
little
we got
iffy
around
about,
it. We got around it. We
but,
have a lot to get around there, but alright.
everybody's freaking out about Miss Peacock leaving, and Wadsworth reveals, "Don't worry, he works for Edgar Hoover, and that phone call was for him, and the
Mhm.
FBI is gonna take care of her." So
Yeah.
Peacock gets stopped at her car. Once again, it's our, Carlin lookalike preaching Jesus,
Yeah.
but turns out he's just the FBI, and Wadsworth says, "We're just like the Mounties. We always get our man."
Peacock was a man?
Double slap. I love that.
I love that. Miss Peacock was a man. But sadly, that didn't happen.
Mhm.
Because here's what really happened. And we jump back again, and it starts to break it down. You get Wadsworth explaining that Plum is actually the one that killed Mr. Body.
Mhm.
Peacock killed the cook for reasons said earlier. The motorist was killed by Colonel Mustard. White killed Yvette, and her explanation of why she's like,
Hated her so much.
Jesus.
she's
It
so good.
flames.
You can see her
Flames
thinking of the next word
on
as
the
she's
side of
doing
my
it.
face. Breathing.
Yvette's laying on the fucking
Heaving
table in the
breath.
background.
Yeah.
Heaving.
Just for fun, do you have her scream?
This little weird scream, you hear it in the dark, and then for some reason, we just had to have it again. Yeah, this one.
My God.
You hear it once.
Turn on the lights.
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten you. You're a bit late for that. Hate when he does that.
It's the look. It's the fucking look.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't need to because
No.
it was funny when it was a sound, so now we need to see what it looks like.
Oh my god. Well, so after that, you get Scarlet killed the cop.
Mhm.
Obviously, like she said, he was on her payroll, so I don't understand why she would have killed the cop, but whatever. Wadsworth is the one that shot the singing telegram lady.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Well, it's got to be Mr. Green." He's like, "Actually," and he pulls the gun out,
Mhm.
and you get actually, we completely skipped over a fucking argument with Miss Scarlet earlier. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. 1
Yes,
plus 1
yes.
plus 2 plus 1. And yeah, that whole thing is like, and you can't figure out that they only added up to 5 every
Yeah.
time they counted.
But the way they would do it, I was struggling with it because just the pacing would throw me off.
All they
But
did
it
was
is,
move a
yeah.
2 and a 1 around. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. No, it was 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
Yeah, it's still
But Wadsworth shot the singing telegram lady. Now, it turns out that Wadsworth is actually Mr. Body,
the
and the
whole
other
time.
guy was his butler.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever. And he did say that nobody called the police.
Mhm.
Wadsworth, he suggests that they stack all the bodies in the cellar and they will keep getting blackmailed. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
He did all this just to destroy the evidence. That was it. That's
Yeah,
the whole point of the movie was so
but
Mr.
why?
Body, aka Wadsworth, could destroy the evidence that he had his butler bring. But why?
Oh, I see. Maybe I guess because if you take the storyline when he was saying he's the butler and he doesn't like what Mr. Body's doing, he is speaking for what we call Mr. Body, who's actually the butler, was actually doing. I guess he brought the evidence to prove to these people that you, Wadsworth, are a bad man.
Well, the evidence is destroyed now. So how is
Now
he
it
going
makes
to
sense.
continue to blackmail?
I think he brought the evidence thinking, here's my proof that you're a bad guy. You need to go to the cops. It doesn't explain why he brought all those weapons or any of that. So that doesn't help. But at least then it explains slightly why he doesn't understand why there's people in the rooms. Like, what are they doing here?
I know. There's a whole lot with his character that just didn't make any sense.
Mhm.
But once again, they say nobody called the police.
Yeah.
He suggested they stack him in the cellar, and he's going to keep blackmailing them.
Yeah.
That's it. He set this whole thing up to kill his informants and destroy the evidence. It does not make any sense. How is he going to keep blackmailing them if he doesn't have informants or evidence?
Yeah.
Well, either way, it doesn't
Don't
matter.
think about it.
Either way, it really doesn't matter. Mr. Green busts out his gun and shoots him.
Because he
And
was an
reveals-
inside man the whole time.
He's the FBI. The J. Edgar Hoover call was for him, which if we jump back, why did Wadsworth take that call? It made no sense.
Yeah, and then didn't that tip him off if Hoover was actually on the lines? Like, there must be a mole.
I understand for the second, like, this is what could have happened part, that could have made sense. I'm dropping my score throughout this, man. I'm not lying to you.
Wait. I think Wadsworth makes mention that he knew Green was an inside man, but just Green was a good shot.
I also had a thought earlier, like if Green was the one who made the shot from his own gun in the dark and tried to shoot Butler, Mr. Body, whatever the hell you want to call the guy that died early on.
Right.
But one more reference, to the game before the movie ends.
Yes. Yes, the
tells
way every movie based off a board game should do at one point in their damn movie.
He goes,
"But if you want to know who killed Mr. Body, I did. In the hall. With the revolver."
Which is exactly how you would, call out the person in the game.
Yes. Yes.
Loved it. Movie's over. You get the clue cards flipping over so you can see
it
them.
ain't over. It ain't over. He has to make one final statement after all that night of playing a homosexual.
Oh.
"I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife."
Love it. That's the end of my notes, however. So what else you got before we go into our overview here?
There was one little clip I want to play because it was just like perfectly timed. I want to figure out how to do this in real life. It's just right here.
How did you know that?
Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
Second on it.
I got to do that in real life somewhere. I'm gonna fit it into work tomorrow.
Oh man, you want to go first? You know what? Let me go first because I would love to hear how you got this. And I'm not gonna lie. After going through, I have dropped my score just a tad. But what can I say? This movie is as good now as it ever was. It's just a funny, humorous movie. Great cast. I mean, who doesn't fucking love Tim Curry? Madeline Kahn is I don't know how to describe her. She's great. Nobody could have done that role better. The plot, completely ridiculous, but it's based off a board game. What do you expect? But speaking of that, this has to be the best movie based off of a board game that exists. I had trouble thinking of other ones, like there's Battleship. I think that movie just was terrible, if I remember right. Jumanji, on the other hand, was not based off a board game. The board game is based off the movie, so can't go that route.
Right.
I love that they included.
Wait. There's Real Steel. To me, that's a Rock'em Sock'em. They just pussied out at the last second.
Okay. Yeah. But they did throw a bunch of things in that reference the game. The rooms, the weapons. What you noticed, the cars. I didn't catch that.
Yes, I caught it.
Everybody had on some kind of something that referenced their color of their pawn from the game. The ending was always fun with the what could have happened thing. it's almost like somebody guessing in the game and being wrong only for the next person to be able to guess. That's the way I looked at it. Like somebody's like, well, I guess this person did it with this right there. Nope, you're wrong. That's how it could have happened, but it didn't. Let's move on to the next one. So that's fun. I would recommend anyone and everyone to watch this movie when they get a chance. Watch it more than once. It's a great watch as long as you can get past dumb inconsistencies. I originally gave this movie an 82%. I did drop it. I'm going to give it a 72%, which lines up with Rotten Tomatoes critics at 73. The fans give it an 86. So it's pretty much a universally loved movie. I loved it. I'm going to watch it again. But like I said, a few inconsistencies that I did not like that we talked about throughout this. And I only caught on after both of us are talking here. So that's where I'm at, buddy. I want to hear yours based off of the fact that you have never seen this movie until we did this.
And I must state that I didn't give it a good chance when I was a child. I just decided to hate this movie and refused to watch it. And then as I got older, it's just one of those deals I promised I would get to. Now, I had to change at least one word so my review doesn't sound almost identical. Wow. What can I say? There's nothing wrong with this movie. It starts slow, like deliberately slowed. It builds interest, sets the table, literally. Lets you meet these weirdos and wonder what the hell's going on. But once it gets rolling, the pacing cranks up like someone turning the knob from a whisper quiet to full blast. By the end, it's pure chaos, rapid fire lines, bodies are dropping, secret passages everywhere, and it never feels rushed or sloppy. It's tight, masterfully tight. The cast is perfect. Tim Curry as Wadsworth is the absolute glue. That maniac, breathless energy and quick corrections. The way he runs the whole show without ever breaking a sweat. Madeline Kane, good God. I got to see everything she's been in over again and pay attention just to her. Christopher Lloyd, there's nothing wrong with him. He kind of got overshadowed a few times.
Yes, he did.
Every single one of them nails their archetype so hard that swapping in a bigger like comedy star like Chevy Chase would have just ruined it. It would have just turned this whodunit into a one-man show. This movie needs the ensemble. No one dominating, everyone feeding the absurdity. The balance is what makes this twist land and the laughs feel earned. The humor is dry, adult, and sneaky. You don't notice how clever the script is until you're already hooked. And once it hits that second act, it doesn't let go. Great movie. Deserves every bit of a cult classic. So to make a long story short,
too late.
100% for being the first and the best movie based off a board game. Take that, Battleship.
Love it, brother. Oh, man. Well, that's going to go ahead and do it for us tonight. If you could, head over to our link tree at linktr.ee/no-clue-movie-reviews for all of our links. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I am going to go home and sleep with my wife.